Hi, good morning. This is John Klein from FMS. Welcome to our webinar today that's going to speak a bit about the FMS and RAS transition. We'll go through three distinct parts of this that will probably be done in half an hour or so, 45 minutes maybe. I want to give you a brief introduction to FMS, a brief introduction to our leadership team. We'll talk a little bit about what changes and in terms of fees, and I know we've got a lot of questions, so I want to cover that in terms of fees and process. And lastly, we'll sort of page through the contract and answer any questions that you have. My name is John Klein. I'm VP of Client Support here at FMS. So everything that touches our clients is ultimately, my responsibility through our staff. Eric Wronski, who heads up our marketing department, is hosting the call. So he monitors the phones and questions you may have. If you'll look in the right-hand corner of the little Go to Meeting tab, you can see there's an area where you can either type in a question or raise your hand with a question. So at any point during this conversation, please feel free to do that, and Eric will immediately let me know that we have a question, and we'll answer those as we go. At the end, we'll also do a quick Q&A, so that if you have any questions, and I'll also provide my contact data. If you want to give me a call or an email or a text, you can do that as well. So October 21st at midnight, the FMS and RAS merger consummated. We bought the company from AWG, who of course had bought it just about a year ago, almost to the day, from Affiliated. We are not legally connected in any way with AWG. We service independents across the country, serviced by a multitude of various wholesalers. We do have a relationship just from a managerial perspective. Our VP of marketing and sales, a gentleman by the name of Mark Ellerman, who very sadly passed away about a month ago, completely unexpectedly from a heart ailment, had worked at AWG. So we do have a large concentration of our business, as you can see from the map. Actually, you're not seeing the map, are you? Yeah, now. So this is pre-acquisition. So we do have a relationship with, certainly not legal by any means, not contractual by any means with AWG, but we do a fair amount of work for their clients across the Midwest and now growing into the Northeast as they grow and the Southeast as they grow. So you can see from the map, this was before the RAS acquisition. This is, if you see the FMS bullets, that's where we have offices, our corporate offices in Pasadena. I'm one of the partners in the company. I choose to live and work out of our Nashville, Tennessee office. A lot of reasons. One of them, as you can tell from my accent, I'm a Southern guy. Secondly, there's no state income tax in Tennessee, so it's pretty nice. This is pre-acquisition. You can see when we go to the next iteration of this slide that the Norfolk region, if you will, of our company regional office really filled a nice geographic niche for us. So that you guys understand our commitment to that market. Not only did we buy the business, from the book of business from and the stock of the company from AWG, we also bought the building and have extended an offer to all of the employees at RAS, and all have accepted. So we're extremely excited about that. So this is not some venture capital type deal where you buy the company and immediately fire all of its people and sell its assets and try to. This is for us a long-term strategic play in an area that was, from our perspective, was an ideal place to grow. So it's probably the significant reason that we looked at this acquisition with AWG to acquire this business. Really excited that the staff has decided to stay on board with us. Great group of people, very dedicated. We do look forward to, as we move forward, we'll talk about this in a second, as we move on to the FMS systems, there are a number of things that we can do that will eliminate some logistical hangups, if you will, in terms of rekeying and double keying and doing things multitudes of times, both at your level and at theirs, which will make them more efficient, make you more efficient, and will quicken the delivery of your financial statements each period. So we're excited about that. So talking again about who is FMS. We are a supermarket-specific accounting and payroll services and software company. We only market to independently owned grocery retailers. We go to market in two primary ways. One is we do what was called software as a service. And you're part of the world, Neiman's and Colburn's, Strachan's, and Till up in the Chicago market use it. And we have, it's about a third of our revenue stream, not those guys, but in total, they use our systems just like our accountants and payroll folks do. They have teams internally and they use our systems to drive their financial statements and their payroll. The other 2/3 is what we call BPO, business processing outsource, and that's what you guys use with us, either on a BPO basis, which means full BPO, which means payroll and accounting, or payroll only. And that mirrors the client base that we have today. We service about 3,500 individual stores, not that many clients, of course, because many clients are multi-store. And it's your guys' demography, frankly, from a business perspective, is very similar to what we have. In addition to offering accounting and payroll services, we partner with NGA and offer numerous industry educational, software-specific educational opportunities throughout the year. We do about 10 to 12 webinars a year that are free to all, and all of these things are free. In addition, when you're an FMS client, we do 10 to 12 webinars a year on really whatever the topics du jour are. Lately we've been educating folks on re-educating on the reporting requirements regarding PPACA, Obamacare, if you will. 2 years ago, Eric, we must have done 30 webinars on educating people on how to do, who is an ALE and et cetera, all of the vagaries of PPACA. So I fully suspect in the next 90 to 120 days, we'll be doing quite a few on tax reform. But that's what we do. We find industry experts, subject matter experts, or we do them ourselves. We do a lot of training so that you guys can stay on top of things. As I said, we're a partner with NGA. We co-host a fall financial conference. This past year it was in September here in Chicago. We drive a lot of their education at the NGA show in Vegas. They'll be in Vegas one more year, then it moves to San Diego. We do the Sunday educational 4 tranches of that. Love to have you guys join us in Vegas this February. We're going to do Sunday afternoon. We're working on those agendas now. So if you had ideas later about what you'd like to see, if you're going to attend, flip me an email and we'll take that under advisement. I think probably the thing we're most well known for in terms of providing industry tools and information is we do the 2017, or we do each year, we do the Independent Grocers Financial Survey. We also do one for Canada, and we do one for AWG wholesalers specifically. Eric will certainly make sure that all of the RES former customers, now FMS customers, receive an invitation to participate in that survey. If you do participate, you get a free copy of the survey, and it's got some wonderful information about margins and sales concentrations and shrink and labor. How the industry does in the aggregate, but also how the top 25 do. And I know this year at our client conference this next year in April in New Orleans. So put that on your calendar if you haven't heard about it already. We're going to talk about ways based on the survey about ways how to improve sales, and very specific ways to improve sales and improve margins. So the independent survey is a great tool. I refer to it quite often when retailers call and say, what should I be doing in labor? What should my carve outs of sales be? This is our FMS leadership team, and frankly, it's the ownership team as well. We do have one additional partner who is an outside attorney. Bob Graybill, our president and CEO. Bob worked for many years at A&P, worked through high school and college as a meat cutter in a local market. He's from Baltimore. The good-looking guy in the middle is me. I used to have a lot of hair before I started here. Actually, I didn't then either. My background is I grew up in Oklahoma and Texas. I worked for a company called Scribner, which had a lot of, it had a division. We used to go there all the time in Concordia, as well as in Iowa. So I spent a lot of time in your guys' part of the world. Scribner bought Gateway Foods, so I've lived in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and La Crosse, Wisconsin. So I do understand your guys' winters. And Dave Goggin spent a lot of time also at A&P, as well as a couple of specialty food companies. He is our CFO. We're all CPAs. aggregate, we probably have, well, we don't probably, but we have about 125 years of experience specifically in this industry. So, and our next level of managers, which are more people, also are very tenured. We try to hire people with grocery experience for our leadership roles. So, that's FMS in a nutshell. We sell to independent retailers. 95-ish% of our business are from independent grocery stores. We do other. We don't go market. We don't market to liquor stores. We don't market to convenience stores. We don't market to hardware stores. Although we do a fair amount of accounting. We have a number of owners who have diversified into other businesses. A lot of hardware stores, fair amount of liquor stores, things of that ilk, and we do the accounting for those. We have a lot of rental properties that we'll do accounting for. But we don't go market to those folks. But if our retailers who are our customers say, hey, I'm buying a liquor store, can you do the accounting? Of course we can. I just signed up to about a month ago in Kentucky, so we do quite a bit of that. So as we roll forward and FMS and RAS begin the process of combining our two companies, for the rest of this year, you'll see no changes from a software perspective. You will continue to be serviced from a payroll and accounting perspective through the RAS systems behind the scenes. My team is certainly working on establishing a segregated library for what we'll call the Nebraska library. That will be, we'll set up each of you, set up every client, both the ledger structures and the payroll structures behind the scenes. And starting the first week in January, we'll start doing payroll on our systems, and we will start inputting January 18 data forward into the ledgers. We'll close your year, your accounting year, on the RAS system, and then roll that information after the year's closed into our system. But we will start populating it into our systems in January. It is my hope and my plan right now that we actually cut your W-2s for 2017. That of course get sent out at the end of January 2018. I'm hopeful that we cut those in our system. We have some distinct technological advantages over the payroll software that they use at RAS that will make things just frankly more efficient. And as we do that, because many of those functions today are done manually by RAS, as we do that and move forward, you will certainly see a much improved timeline between the end of your accounting periods and the time you get financials. We average about 15 days after period close here at FMS, and we'll certainly endeavor to get that platform to that as well. So speaking to some of the changes you will see, and again, ask any questions you have. Any question is fair game. The one thing about FMS is both personally, Bob, Dave, and I, and as well as a business, we try to be exceedingly upfront, exceedingly transparent, and frankly, completely honest. We'll never charge you a fee that we haven't discussed prior. We do not, unlike some of our competitors, especially in the payroll business, we don't have add-on fees for reporting. We don't charge extra for W-2s. We have a fee that we're very upfront with, and we tell you that, and we would never charge you a fee without sending you an amendment to the agreement saying, here's what you've asked us, here's what we're willing to do, here's the fee for that. We would never do that without you executing that amendment to the agreement, which is one of the reasons we want the base agreement back, is it gives us something from which it says, here are the fees that we offer, here are the structures that we offer, the programs we offer, here's the fees for that, and you say yes, and then there are your responsibilities therein. So all that said, the one thing, if I could do all this over again, we sent you our standard contract, which we use for typically brand new onboarding clients. You guys are not new onboarding clients. You're a company that we are serviced by a company we acquired. So all of those onboarding fees, none of those are applicable to you guys. And apologies in advance. I probably personally fielded 150 calls relative to that. That was just not very smart on our part. If I could do it over again, I would. So it's one of the reasons we're doing this webinar today, to make sure that you guys are completely comfortable with who we are and how we go to market, and that understand that we are absolutely transparent, or try to be as transparent as we can. So what will change? So from a standpoint of fees that you pay today, we're going to honor those 100% with a couple of exceptions. So whatever you pay today for payroll and for tax preparation, payroll tax preparation, as well as accounting fees, that will be the fees you pay for the next year, 100%. The two things that do change are after the first of the year, so after 1/1/18, we will begin passing through for those of you who pay some or all of your employees on direct deposit. There is a direct deposit fee associated with that. It typically averages about $15 a payroll. It's completely variable with size, and that's in the contract that will a sample contract that we'll look at in a few minutes that is covered in there. So that's one of the changes. Each payroll you'll pay a direct deposit fee. Our bank, who is PNC right now, we're going to keep the Wells Fargo account that AWG used. We're going to keep that through the end of the year. But either way, that's part of their banking fees to us, is they charge a direct deposit fee to us for every ACH header that we send them, and each customer is an ACH header. So that will change. We also charge all of our customers today, pay an annual user license fee, and that's based on concurrent users. We are waiving that for the first year, but effective November 18, you will pay that for the vast majority of RAS customers. You will have one concurrent user. A concurrent user means you may have 20 logons, but what we do several times a year is we're looking to see how many people of your users are concurrently logged in. I fully suspect for the vast majority, if not all of you, that will be one license, but that will start in November of 18. So the two fees stay the same. Your weekly fees stay the same with the exception of the direct deposit fee, which we'll begin charging in 1/1/18, and the user license, which starts in November of 18. A few more changes as part of the transition service agreement, the TSA that we have with AWG. If you receive your information, your checks, etc., from AWG today via truck mail, that will last for 6 months from acquisition. So 6 months from October 22nd, that service will be available. After that, and just like anybody today that ships via third party, you can continue to be shipped. You will be shipped via third party, but that becomes at your expense. AWG and affiliated historically absorbed those expenses if they had it. That's pretty unusual. So going forward, from 1/29/18, if you're currently shipped via third-party carrier, that'll be billed shipped at your expense. If you're on truck mail, then you have 6 months from October 21st before that kicks in. So that's the same way we go to market with our current 3,500 clients. We do offer technological solutions to eliminate shipping. We think it's the right way to go. We think the paperless back office, which we've done many enhancements in our system for, is absolutely the way to pay your employees. Number of ways, and we'll dig into this more deeply when we do our some training and in-person things with you guys, which will be first couple of weeks of December. But you can, paperless payroll, where we pay via pay card, or you print checks on site via your own micro printer. Micro printers are not expensive, and then we could deliver check stubs and W-2s via our employee portal. Normally, there is a 10-cent per payroll charge, 10-cent per week charge for employee portal. But given this change in shipping, we want to recognize that this is different for you. We're not going to charge RAS customers for that access. It's what a great deal. I get my paycheck stubbed through an employee portal, so that's a good deal. But we do. The point of this, the last couple of minutes is we do have technological solutions to eliminate the need to ship product, to ship payroll checks. There's no reason to pay shipping fees, and our systems, we have built them with that in mind, so we can help out with that. Eric, any questions so far that you see pop up?
Nothing yet, John.
All right, thank you. So a few more changes. So today, if you are if you were formerly an AWG client who used direct deposit, your net payroll was swept the week of payroll. Your fees were billed on statement. If you were one of their customers who did payroll checks only, then you were billed for net payroll on statement the following week along with your fees. So what changes? One of the reasons we've asked for the debit authorization forms is by law, as we're such a large payroll provider, the Fed actually audits us every quarter to make sure that we have, they don't audit everyone. They just take a sampling and see that we have debit authorizations for the people that we do. So it's imperative that we get those along with the contract back. We had originally said that we would change that billing methodology, that ACH methodology next week, the week of 11/6. My boss did 3 webinars yesterday. Bob Graybill did 3 yesterday, and I'm doing the 3 today. One of the feedback points that he got from the customers, because just like he did, I'll provide you with my information later in terms of how to get a hold of me, is we got a number of comments that, so for if you're check only today, the first week that we changed the ACH billing methodology, you'll pay AWG for your prior, or through the AWG statement, your prior weeks, and this week's statement, your ACH. We recognize that change in methodology means that the week of conversion, you pay for 2 weeks of payroll. So some of the feedback we got, and it's legitimate feedback. I've worked in retail quite a bit myself. I get it. This is a time of year you're building inventory in your stores. Cash outflow is at this point more than the inflow oftentimes. So we're going to back that up from the week of 11/6 to the week of 11/27 to better align with your holiday cash flow. So we will, your ACH methodology will, your payment methodology of your fees and your net payroll will not change next week. It will change 11/27. Bob, after the webinars yesterday, got a number of calls with folks going, this is sort of painful right now, and we want to be sympathetic to that. So we're going to push that back 3 weeks. So hopefully that doesn't cause any angst. I can't imagine that it would, but we're not going to change that to 11/27. Going forward, today your payroll checks are drawn on an escrow account through Wells Fargo, through the RAS affiliation. That availability is still there for you. We will do that even after the first of the year when we convert to our systems. It's not typically how we go to market, but we can and we will. Alternatively, if you prefer, which all of my clients today do, we create a check overlay on your checking account, and the payroll checks are drawn on there, and I don't draw the money out. We just write the checks and they clear on your account. That gives you that associated float. Not looking for a decision on that today, but in the future, that is something you can choose either or. We can cut the checks on our escrow account, or we can have it cut on yours. Completely up to you. Makes no difference to me. I would say that if you do that, you do get the advantage of float, but it's completely up to you guys. And that's really it for the changes. The direct deposit fee, the change in ACH timing and who it goes to, instead of going to AWG, it'll come to us, and then the shipping of the payroll checks and the technological things. Getting a hold of us is easy. The top number is our primary corporate number, the 877-435-9400. My extension is easy to remember. It's 2 touchdowns twice, 1414. And my cell, as you can see, is 817-239-3622. And my email is jonc@fmssolutions.com. Text, email, call, all of those are anytime. I typically work weekends, so holler. If we fail to meet your needs in any way, please feel free to give me a call and yell at me or tell me you're not doing what you said you would do, and we will certainly make amends for that and try to get it right. We're a company. One of the questions on the prior call was, should I, this is a long contract, it looks complicated, should I have an attorney look at it? Well, and my answer to that was, end of the day, that really is up to Tom's risk profile. I would say 95% plus of our customers do not have a lawyer look at it. Some of our clients have in-house attorneys. They may. The vast majority do not. We've been in business since 1974, so 43 years. We have not. I've been with the company a decade now. I came here from Super Value. We have never sued a client for not performing against the contract. It's just not who we are. The industry is too small. And word would get around. So we have certainly the contract is not meant to be some onerous thing. It really spells out the responsibilities of both, but what I agree to do for you guys for a fee, and your responsibilities underneath about providing information so we can do it. I will tell you, when we make mistakes paying sales tax, maybe we paid a day late. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen for whatever reason. One of my people are sick or whatever may happen. If we fail to pay your payroll taxes timely, that doesn't happen very often, but it does on occasion. If there's penalties, we stand tall for those. We're not going to, we don't hide behind agreements. If we make a mistake, we own up to it, move forward. and take care of any financial responsibility. So, but again, that's just who we are as people, and that's who we are as a company as well. So anyway, this is a sample service agreement. These are the copies of the contracts that you guys have received via email, and have created, as I said, a ton of calls for all of us. And as we go through it, I'll certainly admit that we should have taken a different approach. So this may be, Eric, kind of an eye chart, but if you guys have your contract, you can. It's identical with the exception because it doesn't have your company name on it. I don't know why that keeps doing that. Keeps flipping back. Eric, must be your fault. So on this page, if you look at it, the first handful of pages are paragraphs that 1 through 4 are simply boilerplate. This says here's who you are, here's who we are. Here, FMS owns the software. We're a cloud-based software company. We don't, with the exception of document imaging, we don't put anything on your systems locally. So you guys, you can log in via the internet. Oftentimes you'll use a VPN, especially if you're printing locally. But the software is ours. We do put it in escrow so that if we ever cease to exist, you could continue to use the software, and that's money for our software as a service customers. Service fee, we talk about, it's what it's agreed upon, and we're going to take it out each week pursuant to the debit authorization, and we're going to take it out each week. Like I said. Getting into this, again, this is more legal boilerplate. There's a 14-month term. We want 14 months notice because we aren't charging anything up front to onboard. I will tell you again, if you come to us and say, we're leaving in 90 days, then so be it. We're not in the business of suing customers. It's just not who we are. And you get to the page 4, which is a signature page. This is the page I specifically need back from everyone. And as it says, here's what we shall do. Here's what we need from you to make that happen. Right? That's really what this contract is all about. The part of this in a couple of pages that have created angst is I'll try to walk you guys through it and show you that it was not intended to do that. So here's what, from a payroll perspective, here's what you get every payroll period. It does say this is our standard agreement, sealed check ready for distribution. That certainly is not going to happen until we change from the current what's called Harris data payroll system, which is what RAS uses. That will what you receive today is what you'll get through the end of the year, and then we'll take a look in January to see if we flip to the sealed or if we continue with the folded like we have. Either way, it comes if we print it, it does come in an envelope or a sealer where it can't be readily seen by other employees. You'll get a payroll check register, a labor distribution report, deduction reports for various health insurance deductions, whatever it may be, direct deposit report if applicable, and some folks like to see timesheets. That's very rare, but if you need those, we can send them. One of the differences is today you get this information either printed or you get it in an email. We actually have what's called, we call it the FMS portal. We have 2 portals. One's the FMS portal. That's you guys access that. My employees access that for doing work. It's like having an intranet between you and us. So we put the reports out in your library of the portal, your mailbox of the portal, and send you it, and you'll get an email that says you have documents on the portal tab. You log in. It literally takes 15 seconds. You log in and download those reports. The beauty of it is, if you ever shop, on Amazon or anything else, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, it'll say rather than HTTP, it'll say HTTPS, which means it's secure. So rather than sending sensitive information, confidential information via the open web, we send you a link and you reach behind our firewall and grab that in a secure environment. It's much more secure, and it's the way that we send by policy. We send all of our payroll information. Obviously, it's printed, we ship it, but if it's electronic, we send it that way. We do not charge for, if you have 401k and you need a provider, we have a query tool that lays over top of all of our systems. It's called Empower, kind of a play on words of Empower, EM, it's MPOWER. We will build a 401k up. We'll use that tool to build if you need a 401k or a report to upload for that, or for health insurance to upload to a health insurance portal, or if you need information to support a work comp audit or any other sort of audit, we can do those things. Unlike some of our competitors, we do not charge for those reports. It's part of our service. So that I think you'll find that handy. It's a great tool. It typically comes out. It always comes out in Excel. You can do it in PDF, or you can also do it in HTML. From a standpoint of time and attendance interface, again, because you guys are not new customers, you're existing customers of a company we bought, we're going to build, no cost to you guys, we're going to build interfaces between your time clocks and our payroll system. Today, you're interfacing it to the Access applet that resides on your system. In the future, once we get the FMS systems up and going, we will interface that directly to our time clock. And if you have a point of sale system that is capable of giving us information, we'll build that information as well. Both of those can be emailed or FTP'd to us, whichever you prefer. FTP certainly is more secure, but it doesn't have to come that way. We spoke earlier about the direct deposit fees. You can see here in the upper left-hand corner, this is the schedule. And again, those are fees that are passed through by the banks, whether it's Wells Fargo or PNC or Bank of America or Citibank. Anytime you do an ACH transaction, there are fees associated with that. We're not marking that up. That's what we get passed through. So you can see that it varies by size. The vast majority of the folks on this call are going to be $14 or less per payroll. But that is, as I said earlier, that is the one change relative to fees. We get down to if you do accounting, I think the big thing here is we contractually agree to tell you guys that we're going to provide you weekly information. Once we get up on the FMS systems, that'll be in January. We'll give you weekly reporting. We will give you period P&Ls within a reasonable time, and that is a reasonable time from the point in time which you guys provide data to us. So if you think about a period end, you get there. Your team has to get the AP done. Your team needs to get payroll paid for that week. Because when you pay payroll this week, it pertains to hours worked last week. We certainly follow generally accepted accounting principles relative to matching the expense and the revenue to the period which gave rise to that expense or revenue. So our financial reporting is pretty robust. You can get it in PDF. You can get it through our portal, as we talked about earlier, for data dissemination. The other really cool thing about our financial reporting is we have, as part of the portal, one of the sections or the tabs within our portal, if you choose, is it has what we call the dashboard, and you pull that up, and it has drill down capabilities. If you utilize our document imaging technology, you can actually drill down, but with 2 different clicks, directly to the invoice. So if you're home on a Saturday morning reviewing financial statements, and you're looking at a financial, and you go, what in the world did we pay in refrigeration repair and maintenance? You see a $17,000 bill. If you do doc imaging and you get your reports rendered to you through the dashboard, 2 clicks later, you can actually see a copy of the invoice. Oh, that's right. We had a cooler outage at my store in XYZ city, and that's the invoice for that. Or holy cow, that should have been $17, not $1,700. So it's a great way to review work. Anywhere that you have an internet connection, you have access to that. Again, this is boilerplate language about talking about what we provide and what you guys have to provide for us to do it. Today, you guys, I think most, if not all, of you either write hand checks or use QuickBooks or some other ancillary program to do your AP. You're welcome to continue to do that and send the data into your RAS accountants, your FMS accountants. Or if you want, you can use we have a very robust accounts payable system that we'll teach you how to use. We're going to do a lot of webinar and some regional training the first 2 weeks of December. I know that may not be ideal time for everybody, so we'll be cognizant of that. We've also got a YouTube channel that literally even I can learn how to use our various systems by looking at the YouTube. We'll probably have 100-ish training videos on there. But both payroll, we'll teach you how to use our payroll. So rather than use the applet, you can simply do your employee maintenance there and upload your hours there. And from accounts payable, you can do what you do today, or you can take advantage of our AP system. It's like any really nice AP system. You can establish terms at the vendor level. So maybe Coca-Cola's net 30. AWG's, 7, Mondelez, 14, 2%, cash discount, whatever it may be, you can set those. And each week when you do your check run, based on the day you do your check run and the date, it looks forward to the next check run. It says anything coming due between those two times, it'll present you with, here's what's due to be paid. You can print all checks or have us print all checks, or you can pick and choose what you want to pay. So if cash is a little tight, maybe you don't want to pay all of them, you pay some. You simply check a box to the right of that invoice if you want to pay it, or uncheck it if you don't want to pay it. So like any robust AP system that's got interconnectivity with multiple stores, you want to do AP off of your admin entity and have it pay Coca-Cola for all 4 stores with one check for all invoices. It'll do that, or it'll pay them by corporation if you prefer. So a lot of functionality there. That's no extra cost for that. You're welcome to use it if you wish, or you can continue with what you do today. Doesn't matter to us. We just want to make it whatever's best for you. We do 1099s at year end. Obviously, if you've got vendors that are not incorporated, or certain rentals and certain banks, and legal, you're supposed to issue 1099s too. We do that also as part of what we do, as long as we have the information to do it with. So these next couple of pages are the ones that have created the most questions. I think maybe some distrust, which bothers me, because it certainly was not our intent to do that. If I had it to do over again, we would have simplified this. This is a one-size-fits-all schedule, and it's just created heartache for all of us. I wish we hadn't done that. But anyway, what this has all of the services that we offer, and you can see there. Many of them are optional. For example, the FMS employee portal, you can see it's optional. It's 10 cents weekly, 20 cents biweekly. We're waiving that. I probably should use a different example. We're waiving it. But your fee will be exactly what the fee is today. If you want to, if you say to me, all right, we just want to ship you a box of stuff. We want to use your AP system. I want you guys to key it in. Yeah, we'll do that. There's a fee for it, but you're not going to pay it unless you opt in. We'll never charge you guys anything other than what's in this contract without getting an amendment to the agreement and you signing off going, yes, that's what I want to do, and I agree with that price. I mentioned earlier document imaging. I think it's one of the best things we do. You can document image payroll records behind the ISO and our payroll system. If you want to establish what I call file folders, electronic file folders, maybe one is an employment application, one's a W-4, one's a file folder that's direct deposit forms, one's a file folder for I-9s. You can do that, document image them, and put them behind the employee record. So if John Klein is your bagger at store 2, you can have all those things electronically. And again, those are accessible to you and only you at any place you have an internet connection. If you document image your AP invoices, and it helps with vendor correspondence. It helps it for review purposes. There is no cost from us to use that software. It's part of our core package. So you need to buy an appropriate scanner. Those are well less than $1,000. Very easy to use, very robust. There is a one-time imaging, what we call a click charge. Doesn't matter if it's a 100-page invoice or a 1-page invoice. When you attach it, it's only one click charge. So, and you can see that's scalable in terms of price too. So if you're right in the middle and you had a 40-page KHE invoice, that's 14 cents, right? Or 10 cents, whatever, 12 cents, not 40 times 12. It's one charge for that. I really am a fan of document imaging. Our goal is to provide you with the platform, if you so choose, to have a paperless back office. Same with payroll. So all of these are optional. The only thing you guys pay, or not the only thing, what you pay is your weekly fee for both accounting and payroll, as agreed upon in your fees that you had before, along with the direct deposit fee that we talked earlier about. That's all of these other things are ancillary. They are optional. And if you, along with the license fee I mentioned earlier, we're waiving it for the first year. It's a $340 annual user's fee that will be charged starting November of 18. But again, it's all written, it's all here. This page is not going to be applicable to you guys. So wish I had have included it in our correspondence. We did. Now we're living with the backlash of that. But your fees are exactly what I've described. There are no hidden costs, and we'll never, ever, ever charge you anything without telling you in advance and getting you to sign off on it in advance. That's not who we are. So we would never do that. No, that's caused a lot of angst. So what do I need from you guys? I need you to fill out the contract, which is page, or acknowledge that you've got, the contract, which is page 4. I need that signed. I need the debit authorization, and we've gotten the vast majority of the debit authorization. But if you haven't sent it, we need the debit authorization form, and I need the 2 tax forms that Nancy and her team have sent out prior. That's really it. We're doing accounting now. We're gathering information in the background to get you all set up in our systems. We're going to do webinar training. Some of you will come see at your place of business. Some of you will see in regional. We're looking at some stuff in Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, and then eastern Colorado. We're going to set some regional trainings up for that. We have the director of training and I'm putting that calendar together now. As soon as we know it and confirm sites, we'll get that out to you guys as quickly as possible. But we're excited. We feel strong about what we can do for you guys. We think that many of our technological advances or advantages will be advantageous to you. It will eliminate a lot of the frankly duplicate work efforts within that occur today. So you'll see better turnaround on your financial statements. We use a product called MasterTax that sits behind our payroll system that allows us to electronically and on an automated basis pay payroll taxes. So no more manually computing 941s and filing them with the state, via a phone call to EFTPS. That all happens automatically. So we've invested heavily in those things, in those types of technology over the years to allow us to more efficiently service our customers.